The night air carried a gentle chill as I stepped out of my friend's house after the birthday celebration. The porch light above me flickered faintly, reminding me of the fireflies I once chased as a little girl in the countryside. It had been such a long evening. Music, laughter, cake, and dancing. For the first time in months, I had let myself forget the weight of responsibility and simply enjoyed the moment. My name is Laura Parker. I'm 42 years old and have been raising my son, Ethan, on my own ever since his father walked away when Ethan was just 6. Life has been heavy at times, but we've always been each other's anchor. Over the years, I promised myself that no matter how tired or overwhelmed I became, I would never let Ethan feel unwanted or unloved. Yet tonight, guilt tugged at me. I had been gone for hours, celebrating, while Ethan stayed home. Maybe he had stayed awake waiting for me. Quietly, I unlocked the door and slipped inside. The living room lamp was still on. His favorite blanket was folded neatly on the couch. The TV, unusually, was off. "Ethan," I called softly as I closed the door. After a pause, his voice drifted from the kitchen. "Mom, you're back." His tone was calm, but it carried a heaviness that made my stomach tighten. I walked in and found him sitting at the table, a glass of water half finished in front of him. His brown hair was tousled, his eyes alert but wary. "You should be asleep," I said, forcing a smile. I couldn't. He stared at me, his gaze steady. Then, with a deep breath, he said, "I need to tell you something important." The seriousness in his voice unsettled me. I set down my purse and sat across from him, my mind racing. Had something happened? Was he in trouble? "What is it, honey?" I asked gently. His fingers tapped against the table. "I've been keeping a secret from you. I don't know how you'll feel about it, but I can't hold it in anymore." My heart pounded. "Ethan, whatever it is, you can tell me. Always." For a moment, silence filled the room, broken only by the hum of the refrigerator. Then he whispered, "Mom, I know why Dad left. And I know something about him you never told me." I froze. My throat tightened, my hands trembling slightly. What do you mean?" His eyes glistened. "I found letters in the attic. Letters from Dad. He didn't just leave because he didn't want us. He left because he thought he wasn't good enough. He thought he couldn't give us the life we deserved." My breath caught. For years, I had built a wall of silence around Michael. It was easier to let Ethan believe his father had simply walked away than to reveal the painful truth. That Michael was consumed by his own insecurities, his struggles, his fear of failing us. I had wanted to shield Ethan from that burden. "You weren't supposed to see those," I murmured. "I know," Ethan whispered, his voice breaking. "But I did. And now I'm scared, Mom. Because sometimes I feel the same way. Like I'm not enough for you. Like I'll never be enough." Tears blurred my vision. I reached across the table and took his hand tightly in mine. "Ethan, don't you dare think that. You are everything to me. You're my reason to keep going, the reason I smile. You are more than enough. Always." His tears began to fall. "But what if I end up like him? What if I can't be who you need me to be?" I pulled him into my arms and held him close. "Ethan, listen to me. You are not your father. His struggles are not yours. You are your own person. And I love you exactly as you are. Nothing will ever change that." We clung to each other in the stillness of the kitchen. In that moment, I realized how much the silence about his father had weighed on him. What I thought was protection had, in fact, left a shadow over his heart. That night was the start of many conversations. For the first time, I spoke openly about Michael. Not to excuse him, but to help Ethan understand. I told him about the good moments, the times his father tried, and the love he still carried, even if he couldn't stay. And I told Ethan the truth, that his father's choice was not his fault, nor mine. It was a burden Michael couldn't bear. In the weeks that followed, I noticed a change in my son. He seemed lighter, as if sharing his fears had lifted a weight from him. And I, too, learned something important: that silence, even when meant to protect, can sometimes wound more deeply than the truth. Months later, on Ethan's 17th birthday, he handed me a letter. Inside, he wrote about how he no longer feared repeating his father's mistakes. He shared his dreams, his hopes, and his determination to make me proud, not from fear, but from love. As I read his words, I realized that the night I came home from that party was not just a night of confession. It was the night my son let me into his heart completely, and the night I finally gave him the truth he deserved. Because sometimes, the words that shake us are the very ones that set us free.